It's now time for Energy Insights, where you get an inside view and local perspectives of all the oil and gas progress going on in the Mid-Ohio Valley. This program is being brought to you by the Southeastern Ohio Oil and Gas Association and can be heard every Saturday at 9 a.m. on local radio WMOA AM 1490 and ESPN radio WJAW FM 100.9 and AM 630. It's now time for the show. Here's Johnny Wharf, your local host.
Saturday morning means Energy Insights, brought to you by the Southeastern Ohio Oil and Gas Association. Pleased to bring in Dr. Bob Chase, retired. Dr. Bob Chase, it's one of those deals where you want to go back to work just to slow down, right?
Absolutely right. Yeah, man, retirement's great.
Talk a little bit about the petroleum department at Merida College when you first got in, and then just seemed to really, I don't know if it has always been as energetic as it is lately.
It's, I came to Marietta in 1978 at the ripe young age of 27 and took over the department as department head, and things were just starting to grow back then in the late 70s. It was right after the Arab oil embargo. So energy was on everybody's mind. There was a shortage of natural gas. There was a shortage of oil and gasoline. You might remember back in the mid-70s there were long lines at the gas pump all over the country. So that time period from about 78 to 86 was an absolute boom in the industry in our department. We had kids, coming in from everywhere. But in 1986, all that changed. In 1986, the price of oil collapsed. It had been a whopping $35 a barrel and dropped all the way down to $9 a barrel. And when that happened, the floor fell out in the industry. And companies started cutting people, and that's when we took a hit in enrollment. It was hard to find jobs for kids, and enrollment tailed off. It didn't pick up again till the late 90s, then things started moving again.
I jumped into the workforce in 85, 86, but I do recall back in the 70s, and I was considerably younger, 10 or 12 years old, but I was still hawking seat cushions down at the fair. But there were the Whitnam Oil and Gas and different little companies down in the Riverview building or out in Reno, and it seemed like there were a lot in this pocket.
Yeah, there were, and it was it was very weird what the government did. In those days, the government gave incentives for companies to drill wells into what we call tight rock formations, mainly some of the sandstones we have around here that are not very porous and very permeable. The government encouraged companies to come in and drill and gave them a fixed bonus price for selling natural gas and oil. So I could drill a well in the sandstone around here and get $12 for 1 MCF of gas. But if I drilled a well across the river in West Virginia to a different sandstone formation, and it's happened to be on an old lease, I might only get $2.30 for the gas coming from the same formation. But because it was a new well over here and they considered it a tight formation, you got a bonus price.
Yeah.
Well,
that
led to a lot of small companies developing around here, like you said, the Whitman Oil and Gas,
right?
And so you had small companies that were getting a lot of cash flow from investors because they were getting a great return on their investment here, but they couldn't get it anywhere else because the government controlled the price.
Yeah, and then so as you think about as the department head. When did it come back around then? So
it started picking up in the mid 1990s, and then it just kept growing steadily, and then from about I'd say 2005, 2006 really took off again. So, and then when horizontal drilling was first hit, which was around 2011, things really got crazy.
All right. Well, as I thought might happen, I've got like 3 or 4 questions I want to ask you, and I've run out of time. But can we do this again?
Sure.
All right. Yeah. Dr. Bob Chase. He is a retired professor and department head at Merida College, Petroleum Engineering and Geology, and
Thank you for listening to Energy Insights, brought to you by the Southeastern Ohio Oil and Gas Association. Tune in every Saturday at 9 a.m. on WMOA and ESPN Radio WJAW as Johnny Wolf brings you your local and inside perspectives of the oil and gas progress going on in the Mid-Ohio Valley.